ago, and I had a hard time with that. I went to a 2-year school and started out in like gen eds and didn't really have that career, hey, what do you want to do? You think you know what you want to do, and always had a passion for helping people, and science was not my gig. I could write, I could communicate, and so I went down the path of marketing and communications, and got to that point where you job shadow and went, yuck, this isn't really what I want to do. And so landed up working in a graduate institution where 95% of our students want to be in healthcare, or people that I talk to want to be in healthcare. And so that's kind of where I found my passion. And even though I'm not a chiropractor, my ex-husband is a chiropractor, my daughter is a chiropractor. And so I just kind of found this passion and really enjoy getting out and giving you guys information about chiropractic. So that way, if you're just, heading down that path and you think you know what you want to do, I just always encourage people to, take it all in, soak it all in, and enjoy your college years. And at some point, you're going to have to make a decision. And so, in the booklets that I gave you, one of the things we'll talk about a little later on is shadowing and how I can help you do that. And so, chiropractic. How many of you here have been to a chiropractor? Anybody been? Yeah. If you're athletes or, all about health and wellness, you've probably been. When I started at Cleveland many years ago, I would walk into a class and maybe one person would raise their hand. And so it's great to see that more and more people are familiar with chiropractic. I think that's something that's really important as you look at your career path, is again going back to your passion and what's great. So chiropractic, what the heck is it? So basically, chiropractic, it's a Greek word, praktikis, it means done by hand. And so that's what a chiropractor does, is you've all been, so you're familiar with, you want to keep your musculoskeletal system in tip-top shape. Your goal is to restore function, movement, mobility, and make sure that there aren't any interferences. I very rarely go to my primary care just for that wellness stuff, but my chiropractor is basically where I go for everything. I go multiple times a month. But basically what your job is to do as a chiropractor is when you're looking at your spine and if you've had an anatomy, you know how the nerves flow out to all the organs and, all your things that help your body do what you need to do. And so a chiropractor is basically removing that interference, whether it's with an adjustment that all of you probably have, for those of you that go to a chiropractor. It could be a small tool. Some chiropractors use activator or maybe some sort of tools, but it's non-invasive, which means there is no drugs, no surgery, and that's also the other great thing about chiropractic is you're working in a pretty clean, pretty nice environment. Why work in chiropractic? As I mentioned, there's not only the popularity of chiropractic that is right now, but a lot of athletes, weekend warriors, people that do all those competitions and things like that, that know like what it means to keep your body in ultimate tip-top shape, often see chiropractors. I have also benefited from chiropractic for when I'm traveling. I usually have a lot of bags, suitcases, and so it's important to keep, your balance, your coordination. It's easy to fall and break things, and so, again, there's many things. Probably the biggest reason why people go to a chiropractor is for back pain. That is the largest amount of money that the population spends money on is back pain. And so most people, when you talk to them or walk down the street, they're gonna say, oh yeah, I'm a chiropractor, that's who I go for back pain. But all of you who are in this exercise science world realize that there's much more to that, to chiropractic. There's some facts and figures up here about all the NFL teams that use chiropractors. There is a 9% growth, which is great. In this world, some things, some healthcare professions are declining in the number of job seekers, but this is definitely something that is continuing to grow in popularity, and partly because of the reason that people are tired of taking drugs or supplements or things that are going to just mask that problem. So being able to use chiropractic and get to the core root of why am I not doing what I need to do, or why is my body not performing the way that it needs to perform. I mentioned a little bit about sports and chiropractic. These are a couple of our shining stars, alumni. Dr. Hackler, he's been the chiropractor for the Chiefs for many years, and Dr. Hammond is the Royals chiropractor, and he also gets to travel with them, which is kind of exciting. Dr. Hammond, he's kind of got a unique situation too. It's like, you guys, the health fair that you guys are having tomorrow, the networking, he has made so many opportunities for himself via networking. Being in the Royals Stadium, he spoke to some of our students before and talked about the Justin Timberlake one time came to see the Royals, and then he was going to perform in Kansas City. He was out golfing, hurt his back. He called the Royals and was like, hey, do you know a chiropractor? And they're like, yeah, we do. And so through that, Dr. Hammond has gotten to see multiple people that come down to the event center. I can't even remember what it's called anymore, T-Mobile or Sprint or whatever, but concerts, performers, all of that, it's literally through networking. So it's a great thing having involvement in the things that go on your campus.
Does he have his own practice? Or
He does. He has his own practice, and he manages it very well. And that's the great thing, because during baseball season, he can cut back his hours, and his patients are aware of that. And so, you know, that's the great thing about being your own business owner, being able to do those kinds of things. Got a video. I don't know if the sound. Oh, awesome.
Summers off back then. I injured my back